Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayautirayet. Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavate Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, 19th chapter, verse 33. Nevatmane Mahendraya Rosham Arhatam Arhasi Ubhav Apihi Bhadram Te Uttama Shloka Vigraho. Na, not. Eva, certainly. Atmane, non-different from you. Mahindriyaya. Upon the king of heaven, Indra. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Rosham, angered. Arhatum, to apply. Arhasi, you ought. Ubhav, both of you. Api, certainly. He also, Bhadram, good fortune. Te, unto you. Uttama Shloka Vigrahu, incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Lord Brahma continued, let there be good fortune. Let there be good fortune to both of you, for you and King Indra are both part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, you should not be angry with King Indra, who is not different from you. Verse 34. Masmin Maharaja Kritha Smachintam Nishamyasmad Vacha Adratatma Yadhyayato Deva Hatamnu Kartum Mano Atirustham Vishate Tamo Andham. Ma, do not. Asmin, in this. Maharaj, O king. Kritaha, do. Sma, as done in the past. Chintam, agitation of the mind. Nishamya, please consider. Asmat, my. Vachaha, words. Adrita Atma, being very respectful. Yat, because. Dhyayataha, of him who is contemplating. Devahatam, that which is thought by providence. Nu, certainly. Kartum, to do. Mana, the mind. Atirushtam, very angry. Vishate, enters. Tama, darkness. Andham, dense. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. My dear king, do not be agitated and anxious because your sacrifices have not been properly executed due to providential impediments. Do not be agitated or anxious. Kindly take my words with great respect. We should always remember that if something happens by providential arrangement, we should not be very sorry. The more we try to rectify such reversals, the more we enter into the darkest region of materialistic thought. Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Sometimes a saintly or very religious person also has to meet the reversals in life. Such incidences should be taken as providential. Although there may be sufficient cause for being unhappy, one should avoid counteracting such reversals. For the more we become implicated in rectifying such reversals, the more we enter into the darkest region of material anxiety. Lord Krishna has also advised us in this connection. We should tolerate things instead of becoming agitated. Omagyantiminandasya Gyananjan Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadabahiyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Hey Krishna Karna Sindhu Dinbandhu Jagat Pate Gopesha Gopika Kantha Radha Kantha Namastute Taptakanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishbhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advait Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Tinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pacharine Nirvishesha Srinivadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Can I read both the translations? Lord Brahma continued, let there be good fortune to you, to both of you. For you and King Indra are both part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, you should not be angry with King Indra, who is not different from you. My dear king, do not be agitated and anxious because your sacrifices have not been properly executed due to providential impediments. Kindly take my words with great respect. We should always remember that if something happens by providential arrangement, we should not be very sorry. The more we try to rectify such reversals, the more we enter into the darkest region of materialistic thought. So these verses have to be understood in a proper consciousness, because I will show you both the pictures. Okay, if somebody is just by emotional or sentimentally understanding these verses, and somebody who is understanding it in a proper manner as Brahma is saying it. So what's happening here? What is the scene? What's happening here? What's happening?
Indra has stolen
Prithvi is trying to kill Indra.
Yes.
Prithvi is very angry on Indra, and he is chasing
Yes.
on Indra to kill him.
Ashwamedh is being
Saying
stopped.
not to kill him.
Who is talking?
Indra is trying to stop
Brahma
that
is talking.
because he has taken the horse.
Brahma is talking.
Brahma is talking to who?
Prithu.
to Indra and
Talking
Prithu.
to the king.
King Prithu.
Prithu.
Yeah, Prithu Maharaj. Very nice.
Yes.
So Brahma is talking to Prithu Maharaj, right? So how many times Indra tried to steal the horse? How many times?
Twice changed.
How many times?
3 times. 3 times, Mataji.
3 times.
3 times. Yes.
3 times he tried
Yeah.
to steal the horse. Was he able to stop this sacrifice, the 100th sacrifice? Was he able to do it?
Yes.
Yes, because
Yes, he was able to stop. Yes.
Okay.
that is a
Thank you.
predicament the king is facing.
Yes, correct. That's the predicament king is facing. Okay, so what's happening is that Brahma, so now King Prithu is very angry with Indra, and he's going to punish Indra. So Brahma senses that this is a very tense environment. Now he needs to intervene. Because he can foresee that if Indra is punished, then what is going to happen to the arrangement of the demigods, because he's the chief of them. So he comes now, and then he tries to be a moderator. One can say that Prithu Maharaj is Satyavesh Avatar. Brahma is not. Brahma is not Satyavesh Avatar. But Prithu Maharaj is Satyavesh Avatar. Brahma, we can say, is one Shakti Tattva. He has this Shakti to create, right? But Satyavesh Avatar is empowered to give Krishna, so is more powerful than Brahma. But one can say that Prithu Maharaj has been instructed by Brahma. How can we come to the conclusion? Because right now they both are acting according to their roles. Okay, King Prithu is acting as a king, and Brahma is acting as the creator of, and it is his responsibility. So it is not out of a false ego, but it is out of the sense of duty that they both are understanding their roles and responsibilities. Okay, so that's number one. Because sometimes we say that if somebody is superior, let's say somebody is a senior devotee, so somebody who is junior to them cannot talk to them about scriptural knowledge, or because that person would know better. But if there is a mistake, or there is some contradiction or confusion, then one must talk with scriptural references. He's giving a reference, right? Both of you are actually creations of Krishna, so both of you are in that respect alike. So you should not be angry with him, right? Understood? Because that's a very common fanaticism going around in not only in ISKCON, but all the all the religious organizations, be it Christianity, or we see a lot of Jewish people, everywhere the same thing, that if somebody is on a higher level, then it is assumed and presumed that somebody who is junior is automatically going to have less understanding than the person who is sitting on a higher throne. Yes or no? Have you seen that? It should be there in all Parampara also, this confusion.
Yes,
So, but Brahma is
it is.
clarifying.
Yes, Mother.
Yes. So if it is out of the sense of duty, Brahma is clarifying, and King Prithu is not telling him that, I am actually Satyavish avatar of Krishna. I have taken birth from the dead body of Vena, and I have been empowered to do, so many, we'll read the chapter 21, where King Prithu will give instructions. So when we listen to his instructions, we will automatically feel, when we'll come to that chapter, that his instructions have more weight than Brahma's instructions. But he is still taking a position and still listening. Okay, so one has to be humble. So King Prithu is giving his example. This is humility. Not that because I have a title, or I have this, or I have that, or I am older in age. Let's say, sometimes some children or some youth or some younger people come and talk to us and say, maybe you could have said like that, maybe you could have said it like that. So if we start taking offense that, oh, how can you talk to me like that? Is that really Krishna consciousness? Is that really Krishna consciousness?
No.
No,
Mataji.
Mataji.
So what kind of a consciousness is that? What would you call that?
We should respect every Vaishnava, Mataji.
We should be open for correction.
It's a compromise
from
for
anybody.
good. It's a compromise for good.
Right.
That's being
Right.
attempted here.
We should be
Okay.
open for correction, whether it comes from younger one or elder one.
Okay. So bottom line is that one confusion which I wanted to clarify. I don't know how successful I will be, but don't get succumb to that. Everything that a so-called or they may be like a senior Vaishnava, not acharyas. I'm not talking about acharyas, because the words of the acharyas are fixed. They can never be wrong. If Prabhupada said something, then it's fixed. If Nimbarka Acharya said something, it's fixed. If Ramanujacharya said something, it's fixed. They're fixed, right? We cannot question or change. We just have to have time to realize what they're saying. But we are talking about your senior devotee, junior devotee, medium devotee, all that devotees like. So even at the level of the sannyasi, if they don't do it and they get succumbed, then it gives rise to abuse. You must have heard of abuse, and this came into limelight from Catholic world, right? Have you heard of it? Catholic world, the Catholicism, like they make this so many abuses go on in the organization.
Yes,
Yes.
Religious organizations because of this misconception. And I'm telling you the reality, because of this misconception that if somebody is senior, then whatever they say is right and we have to agree to it blindfolded. But that's not the case. And Krishna himself, or King Prithu Maharaj and Brahma are themselves clarifying this properly from the Shastras, that if it is out of the duty, then one has to take proper, and it has to be a respectful conversation, not like blaming, but one has to talk. Okay, and the other thing that Brahma is telling, basically Brahma is instructing King Prithu in this particular verse, the two words, I'm reading this, just give me a second. There are two words, Ati Rushtam and Deva Hatam. Ati Rushtam means very angry, and Deva Hatam means that which is thwarted by providence. So he's saying that the angry mind of a person who meditates on that which is thwarted by providence enters into a dense darkness of materialistic thought. So if we are acting from a place of being angry for our own sake, but when we are so angry, we really don't have intelligence to understand. That is why Brahma has to come, right? So basically we should keep praying. It should be a part of the prayer every day that when I get angry, I should not lose my intelligence. Otherwise, Krishna says that, right? Kama esha krodha esha rajogun samudda bhava mahashano mahapapam vidyena vahi veridam. So that 8-step fall down in 2nd chapter Bhagavad Gita. So when somebody gets angry, then the memory becomes bewildered. You can't remember. And then person commits a sinful activity. That is why we need a spiritual master. That is why we need a regular, very strict practice of Krishna consciousness. If we are not going to practice, if our mind is allowed to do what it wants to do, and we are not really training the mind in a regulated manner, then we are actually entering the dark, dense forest of materialistic life by getting angry and making decisions from the place of anger. I'm not saying that we should not get angry, but one has to understand the reason behind the anger, because anger is like the iceberg. Do you know what's an iceberg? Do you know what's an iceberg?
Yes, Mataji, Titanic iceberg.
Solid ice, solid
What is
water,
iceberg? What is
Iceberg.
iceberg?
Yeah, iceberg in a glacier.
solid water.
In the water.
It's iceberg in a
There is
glacier.
only a
No?
small tip, while there is a
Yeah.
big solid mass. underneath
Ice, mass of ice.
The water.
Very nice. Yes, Dr. Barak. Yeah. So you see, if you go on a sea and you see a little bit of ice on the top. So one who is not intelligent, doesn't have a knowledge, may think that, oh, this is just a small ice floating. But what you can see is just tip of a big mountain. There's a big ice mountain down under the sea, but we can see only the tip. So basically, we see the anger, which is like a tip of an iceberg, but then there is a whole, reason which we can't see behind that. What is the reason to be angry? That is why I want to do this communication thing with all of you, because when we are consciously communicating with proper words and proper construction of the words, even when we are angry, we will always be connected to what my need is. Okay, so I'm not saying don't get angry, but we have to understand where is this anger coming from? What place is it coming from? Because a Vaishnava is insulted, or because their service to Krishna is hampered, or because something related to Krishna consciousness has gone wrong, or it is a position of it is a position where one has to correct somebody who has done a grave mistake for their own betterment. Where is it coming from? But if it is coming from the place that my desire is not fulfilled, I got less bonus than the other person, or how can that person get more promotion than me? How can that person get more rich than me? So that is going to lead us. That is going to lead us. Bhagavatam is saying it. Okay, I'm not saying it. Then that is going to lead us to the darkest region of materialistic thought. There's no end to it. There's no end to the negativity, because we can't even see. It's dark. So we actually don't know where it is going to end. Imagine that it's morning and you have gone to a nice national forest to trek, to hike. So it's morning, the sun is bright and the weather is nice and you're going. So can you see something? Can you see everything? Like how far the distance is, how much more you have to go. Can you see everything?
Yes,
because it's
Yes,
morning.
Mataji.
Yes,
When it's
Mataji.
clear, we can see.
Yes.
Even though if it is a forest, you can still see. But imagine that suddenly it becomes very dark. You're completely dark and your flashlight or phone has died and flashlight has no battery. So can you see where is the beginning, where is the end, where are you? Can you
No,
see?
Mataji.
No,
We are in the
Mataji.
dark.
No, Mataji.
Dark.
That's
So-
the problem.
So if we don't practice Krishna consciousness with sincerity, and if we don't understand the Shastras properly, if we don't associate with the devotees, then our mind will keep making decisions which will deteriorate us more and more and more. But we have to go up. One devotee once told me that Krishna consciousness is swimming against the stream. There's a stream which is going down, so downstream, but Krishna consciousness is you're going up. So there's more energy, which is more spent. Okay, the mind is like, right now the mind might be like, 16 rounds is a lot. It's a lot. We don't need so many. God doesn't need anyone to count the number of rounds. Have you heard these things? God doesn't need anyone to count the number of rounds they're doing. God is in my heart. It's a lot,
Yes.
right? So
Yes.
why only Hare Krishna Maha Mantra? Any mantra and any number of times in any way. Okay, all these fanaticisms are coming from the mind because there is no shastric reference, there is no guru, there is no sadhu attached to this. So if we cannot give reference, if it is not approved by the spiritual master, it is coming from the mind, neglect it. You will read later in the Shastras, in 5th canto, that what is the best way to, first way of a mind control? What is the first way of a mind control? Srimad Bhagavatam says neglect it. Neglect it. Because you cannot suppress it. Don't try to talk to it. Don't try to do anything to it. Neglect it. Okay, the thoughts are going to come. Okay, now why don't you come? Why don't you come? Neglect. And now how much to neglect you have to observe in your day-to-day life. That what are the other things you're neglecting? So neglect it. In the beginning, that's it. Because the mind will never be a friend. Okay, and there's one more thing I want to say here. Dr. Parekh, you have something?
Just I wanted to say there is a very good saying in English: anger destroys the vessel it is contained in.
Yeah.
It says
Thank you.
everything.
That's correct. That's what Srimad Bhagavatam is saying too. That person who's getting angry is actually the one who's going in the darkest region of materialistic thought, not the person who we are getting angry on, but the person who's getting angry is doing it. Also, I wanted to bring up one discussion that over here Brahma is telling Prithu Maharaj, so Prithu Maharaj can see. But how do we see that whatever reverses are happening in our life are because of providential arrangement and not because of somebody's mistake or somebody's envy towards us? So it's a very difficult area to venture into. I'll give you some examples from my preaching experience. So one Mataji became very close to me, in this 20-day classes I used to take. And she wanted to talk to me on the phone. So that's why I'm a little bit, now I have a boundary that I don't give phone numbers out to everyone. But I gave her, say, okay, yes, you can call me. What's the problem? So she called me and she said, I understand that Krishna says Matra Sparshas to tolerate all this, some happiness and distress, because this is like summer and winter season. It will come and it will go. But my young son was murdered. Okay. She said my young son was murdered. And it's been, I don't remember, maybe 7 years or 10 years that we have not been able to get justice, because the justice system is not in our favor. So how do I understand this? Where is Krishna consciousness here? Because my young child, my only son, was murdered brutally. And I took pictures of the scene of murder. I found the body and police is still denying it. So how do we see? How do I? So, this question is genuine. Or there may be so many difficulties in somebody's life that how do we make sense of what is happening in our life is because of the providential arrangement or because it is something like this? It's a very difficult question. That is why we need some higher authority to teach us. Over here, King Prithu is telling, Brahma is telling King Prithu that this is a providential arrangement. Also, one devotee once told me, how do we find out that it is a providential arrangement? This is not a set stone answer, but one very senior devotee, because I asked this question, I carried this question to her because I don't have an answer for this question. What this Mataji asked me, that, okay, that I took it to a senior devotee and she taught me. She said, you see, if we are trying, okay, and we are trying sincerely, then we don't get the result. Okay, one time we don't get the result, then you try again, you still don't get the result. After multiple trials, a person should think that this is a providential arrangement. It's not that we should not try at all, but this is the best answer I could get. So I don't have an answer for this lady till date. But I can definitely say that King Prithu's son was trying. Was he not trying to get this horse back? Yes or no? Was he not trying?
Yes, Mataji. tried.
Yes,
Mataji.
He was
Yes.
trying.
Forever.
But he got it also.
He got it
Came
also. Right.
The horse
he
came
brought.
also, but then it was not you, like the yagya was still not performed. And there were stalwart brahmanas sitting there who can call Indra by just chanting some mantras, right? Everyone sitting. So it's a providential arrangement. So basically, whatever happens in our life, if to be able to understand the proper scenario, we need the help of senior devotees. We need the help of a spiritual master. We need the help of the scriptures. Okay, sometimes one has to make very difficult decisions in one's life. Now you think in your life, at least one incident sitting here where you had to make a very difficult decision. And then what did you do? So what did you do? So, and whatever you did, how did it turn out? So that will tell you whether it's a providential arrangement or it is not a providential arrangement. Okay, so it's but most important is that if somebody is on a so-called senior position, I really want to request each one of you to understand that maybe somebody is on a senior position in the spiritual organization, but if you see something obviously going wrong, then don't think yourself that what do I understand the Vaishnava Kriya Mudra. When we're saying, King Prathu is instructed by Brahma. So there is this reference in Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay. And Prabhupada also writes here that sometimes very saintly or very religious persons have to meet with reversals in life. Give me some examples of saintly and religious people who have met reversals in life from scriptures, please.
Vishwamitra.
What reversal he met?
Menka, he met Menka, then he had to start his tapasya again.
I wasn't looking for that kind of a reversal. I was looking for more like Prahlad Maharaj. His own father is like his enemy. Pandavas, right? They had to face so many reversals. Kunti Maharani, Mother Sita. Mother Sita had to face. Dhruva Maharaj had to face reversal. No.
Because of his father.
Mataji, Srila Prabhupada.
Emotional. Prabhupada. Very nice.
Mataji, Krishna has reversals. Shishupal.
We can say Krishna himself. Yeah, we can say he was separated from his birth parents. And then he didn't go to school until he was like a teenager. Right? And then, yes, name more people who had to face reversals.
I think we can even quote Vasishtha and Vishwamitra. Vasishtha had Kamadhenu, and Vishwamitra, before he became Rajaguru, he wanted to have that Surabhi from Vasishtha. And see, he couldn't get it because that was Vasishtha's sole property, and he didn't want to spare that. So ultimately, it's a clash between two personalities, and got solved by itself. That led actually to Vishwamitra going into penance to achieve what he wanted.
Mataji, he made Trishanku Swarga, Mataji.
Who?
Not thinking of
Vishwamitra made Trishanku Swarga.
No, that is a different situation.
Because after sheer ego, he has done.
That is ego. Vishwamitra wanted to, he wanted to show his prowess.
Vasishtha with Vishwamitra.
Yeah. He wanted to show his prowess.
Then he used to show his Rajoguna.
Yeah. Ultimately, he creates a heaven.
Vritasur, we can say Vritasur. Yes.
Mataji, King Harishchandra, like he had to sacrifice his son also.
I don't know, Mataji. If it is in the scriptures, then fine. I don't know. I don't think there's a story of that pastime in Srimad Bhagavatam.
Lord Buddha, Mataji.
Lord Buddha had to face reversal. What reversals he faced?
Because he was a king and he had not seen any like birth, death, old age, disease and these things before when he was a child. So when he saw that, when he goes out and then he said there are so much of suffering in the world, then only he takes up
So what is
That
a
is-
reversal here?
That is
Reversal.
transformation.
That's the
Transformation.
transformation, correct.
Not,
So reversal.
not reversal. Reversal means
Reversal is like Prahlad Maharaj was beaten up by his own father from the moment he found out he's a devotee of Krishna.
yes.
You know, in Bhishma Dev, also we can say in a way, but Bhishma Dev is a dual-edged sword because Bhishma Dev was also present in the gambling match where he couldn't speak up. So there he was wrong. But then at the end, when because he's a Mahajan, of course, there is an internal reason to these pastimes, but on his deathbed, he was on the bed of arrows. Imagine. That's a
Draupadi
reversal.
Mataji. Draupadi.
Draupadi.
Mataji Bharat
I think she's right. Harishchandra also can be quoted because he lost his kingdom. He lost his kingdom because he was tested. Yeah, he was tested for his moral character, no?
So
Because
it
he
could
was
be, but
supposed to
what
be-
I'm saying is that I cannot validate it because I don't think this story or
It is
pastime
there in
comes in Srimad
Bhagavatam.
Bhagavatam.
Yes,
Srimad
Harishchandra.
Bhagavatam has Harishchandra.
Yeah, yes, it is there, I think, because he comes in that lineage, you know, the king King
Ninth
Harishchandra.
canto.
I just can't remember, but it must
Okay.
be there. Because Harishchandra belongs to a very big
King Rati,
lineage.
ninth canto has the story of King Rati, which sounds similar to that, but
I think
Somewhere in
I
ninth
think
canto,
I can
Mataji,
I can
like,
come
just
out with it
heard in
tomorrow.
some other
King Rati.
references.
Okay. Oh, Vasudendra. Okay.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Mataji Bharat
Okay, so
Maharaj.
the point I'm trying to make here is by bringing out these examples that when one comes to Krishna consciousness, one should not think that now they're going to have like a problem-free life. The problems might actually increase as our Krishna consciousness increases. The problems may also increase because Krishna wants to see that how much do we really want him? How much do we really want him? Or do we get like into our problem-solving business? Haridas Thakur, right? Haridas Thakur was beaten up in 21 marketplaces because he was chanting Hare Krishna. That's a reversal situation, apparently. Or they tried to taint his character by sending prostitute in the middle of the night to his house. That's an insult, right? But he didn't take it like that. Should we do the 10th canto or this is a long discussion? Surya
Yes.
Prakash Prabhuji?
Yeah, I could not recall that Haridas Thakur tape. That's why I kept it. Because when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to punish that fellow, he was saying, no, forgive them. You know? Haridas Thakur.
Oh, yeah.
That
Okay.
is reversal.
Okay.
But I wanted to put you one question, Mara.
Okay,
I have seen one parent, so they are of course well rich and all that, but very pious, very the Krishna devotees and that. But in the family, the two both daughter is a dentist in the US. She met with an accident and her nervous system was paralyzed. And despite higher position, his son in software could not get married. But they are very pious. Why this is happening? They always say. My feeling is that because of their earlier karmas is hunting them, this is all happened, or is this all Krishna's arrangement? How can I take it? It's a prudential.
When somebody is going through. Okay, thank you for bringing this up. But I just want to say, because maybe when we discuss this non-violent communication, we can bring this up, that somebody is suffering and they come to us and then they ask this question, why?
Very pious people.
Why? Basically, but let's say they say, why is this happening to me? Why? And if we say, oh, this is your own karma, that I feel like a very violent answer, committing violence with the words. It may be true. It may be true, but it is not an austerity of the speech.
I read one Karma Siddhanta, one famous writer, Lac Registrations, in Telugu only. But here narrated about the karmas and all that. That is part of it. That way they this earlier life, whatever they have done, the past deeds, the sins are ending. So that will happen the next janma. They have to suffer like that. Or is it
we are all not with Krishna. So we are all not with Krishna. So I don't think that we have done enough karma. So basically, let's not be an illusion. But maybe
because you are telling that.
Don't say anybody anytime, or you can. You have independence to choose that you are suffering because of your karma. That's really violent to say
Violent.
someone.
Hare
Hey,
Krishna.
the proper question to ask is that what is it that I need to learn that I am being faced with such a situation in my life? What is the learning point here? That's the proper question. Why questions are hard questions. You know, the author of the book writes there are two kinds of vocabulary. One is wolf and one is the giraffe. So wolf is like, you know, a very carnivorous animal, always biting.
Very cunning.
So wolf vocabulary. So why questions? Most of the not every single why question, but most of the why questions in our life are like a wolf question. But giraffe communication is that, okay, what is it that I need to learn? How can I, how can I move forward from here? Or how can I help? How can we help you? Okay, thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna
Pranam.
Mataji.
Mataji, a few months back, you were telling that after this Srimad Bhagavatam, you will take certain topic and you will tell about that. Just like not to crave for food other than prasadam, and there were many other topics told by the other participants. So when you will take that, Mataji? The second time I'm asking.
Yeah,
this
so
to you.
Mataji, one request I have is that we have a flow of thought going on, and then suddenly something else come in. So maybe you can type these questions if they're not with the flow of thought, if I may request you, because it actually disturbs the rhythm of the class. But I said all the time that we will talk about nonviolent communication next. Nonviolent communication next. Like I've been talking about it. But this is my genuine request that if you want to direct the class to some other topic in some other direction, then kindly write your question in the chat too. I'll be happy to address it.
Mataji, another question. You are telling about reversals and providential arrangements. So could you please define the word providential arrangement with some examples?
The one
Elaborate it.
example is right in front of you. Over here, King Prathu's Vashvamedh Yagya is being baffled again and again. So Brahma is saying that don't try to rectify this because you won't be, because it is a providential arrangement. This is the example right in front of you.
If I search on Google, can I get a diagrammatic example regarding this providential arrangement word?
Mataji, you should read 10th canto, 14th chapter, verse number 8. And also hear Srila Prabhupada's lecture. And you will get the answer. 10:14:8. Tatte anukampa susumikshamano punjana evatma kritam vipakam. Hidvag vapurvir vidadham namaste jiveta yumukti patesa dayabhak. So that completely defines that how a devotee takes an obstacle as an opportunity to grow and takes it as a providential arrangement. But a non-devotee gets succumbed. Non-devotee gets succumbed by a reversal and cannot take it as a providential arrangement. Can't. They want to go on all life. They want to go on solving the problem. And the problem. Prabhupada says once he was in the Havra station, he was talking about how we all think that we are kinchana. Kinchana means we have a feeling and we possess something. So Prabhupada was talking in that context, and he gave example that he was in Howrah station in Calcutta, and he saw this homeless person whose only possession was some burnt firewood or something. Okay, and that person was carrying it very protectively, and was thinking that this is my possession. So now if that person providentially is destined to be poor, but then if we become attached to that little bit things here and there, then we are actually not progressing in bhakti. We are not progressing. But we have example from Chaitanya Chaitamrita. Kovilach, what is the name of the devotee who was selling the banana dry banana leaves?
Kolava.
What is the name?
So yeah, full evening.
Pulava, something.
Polavechi Sridhar.
Pulavechi Sridhar.
Sridhar.
We have example from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Pulavechi Sridhar. He was very, very poverty stricken. He was extremely poverty stricken. Extremely means
Yes,
extreme means extreme.
Just thank him. Have an attitude of gratitude.
So extremely poverty stricken in the sense that he was just selling some dry banana leaves, and he would make whatever he would make every day. 50% of it he would spend for the worship of Mother Ganges, and 50% he would maintain himself. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu approached him, saying that you have achieved the perfection of bhakti. Why do you not ask me a benediction to become rich? Why are you so, why do you like to stay poverty stricken? So you know what he answered? Does anyone know what he answered to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? What he answered to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? What did he say?
He said that I want this young boy to come and get haggling with the prices.
Imagine coming
He may come and get the things that he wants. That was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself.
Okay. He said, my dear Lord, don't try to fool me. Don't try to cloud my intelligence. I am very happily situated in my practice, in my spirit, in my Krishna consciousness. I'm paraphrasing, but what I really like about that conversation in that part of Chaitanya Charitamrita is that he says, my dear Lord, don't try to fool me. Don't try to cloud my intelligence. I am happily serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead and your lotus feet. And that's where my happiness is. So please don't try to fool me. So that's another. So he's a devotee, a non-devotee. Prabhupada is giving example of Havra station, burned dry wood, and he's thinking this is his possession. So this is also an example of how a non-devotee and a devotee takes.
Self-satisfied.
But these are difficult situations, and they have to be taken case by case basis under the supervision of a spiritual master until we are fully self-realized. And if we can't think of Krishna at that time, then we should automatically know that I am not yet spiritually realized. Okay, don't try to be fake something and be something and do something. If automatically the mind becomes disturbed in a situation and can't think of Krishna or can't take it as Krishna's mercy or Krishna's arrangement, then automatically understand I'm not there yet. I need help. Okay.
Yes, Mataji.
I think
Thank
it's
you,
too
Mataji.
much for today, so we'll take up 10th canto later.
Mataji, 5 minutes is there.
I think here Brahma's intervention itself is providential, Mataji. I think it is as willed by Krishna, because the situation here is a confrontation between two personalities, that is between King Prithu and Indra. King Prithu is very genuine here because it is his legitimate right to complete this yajna of Ashwamedha Yaga. So as suggested by his gurus and saints. On the other hand, Indra, he was jealous because if King Prithu completes this Ashwamedha Yaga, he will occupy Indra's position. And Indra is jealous of it, and hence he was trying to intervene and stop that. But the thing is, that triggered anger in King Prithu, and that anger could have precipitated something phenomenal now, so catastrophe. So in order to avoid that, perhaps Krishna willed that, and he sends Brahma to intervene and stop it at the right moment. So that, and he wants to clarify to King Prithu the situation, that if he's angered and if he goes further ahead with sacrificing Indra in the sacrificial fire, that means Indra is not an ordinary personality. He is a personality representing the whole Devas. That is why he's called Devendra. So that would cause catastrophe in the Devaloka. So in order to avoid that, Brahma has been sent there to pacify both the personalities in a, what should I say, in a way that they forget, both of them forget.
Yes, everything
the
is
situation.
controlled by Krishna.
This happens even today, because we can even say confrontation between two countries in war. So much so that they may even precipitate a world war. So somebody is sent as in an ambassadorial position.
Moderator.
Third country.
It
Third
happens. Yeah, third country. So this happens even today. Yeah, moderator.
Yes.
Interlocutor.
Yes, and also Indra is not a demon. That's why Krishna is is taking all this trouble to rectify him.
Yes,
And that's the
Mataji.
benefit of becoming a devotee
That
of
is the-
Krishna, that even if we do mistake and we keep doing it, Indra does so many mistakes. Out of all the people listed in Srimad Bhagavatam, Indra has done so many mistakes in Srimad.
And he had
But
done it
Krishna
even before.
keeps correcting,
Yes.
keeps correcting. My goodness, so much patience.
Yes.
Hey. Okay, Dr. Saxena, you have a question?
Yes, Mataji. There are two doubts, in fact, not questions. First is, what was basic purpose of doing this yajna by King Prathu? Or secondly, is it a presumption that he wanted to occupy the chair of Indra, or is it a truth?
Yeah.
So what was his intention? It was given in the beginning of this chapter, that because he wanted to please Krishna.
No,
That
but
is why he
didn't
chose
want-
a holy place.
But he didn't want to occupy the Indras, so
No,
why
no.
Indra was so
No.
annoyed?
No.
But Indra thought, you have to understand
Yeah,
it
Indra
from
thought,
Indra's
yes.
point of view. No, King Prithu doesn't need to
No,
occupy
he didn't. He
Indra's
didn't.
post, but-
It is like Yudhishthira's Ashwamedh.
Yeah, Indra is very envious and
Egoistic.
unsafe.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
you know,
But why
he
you
will
should-
be
Exactly.
as powerful.
But
Yes.
why he should
Possessive of
be
his
so
chair,
insecure,
Mataji.
being the head of
Hare
the
Krishna,
demigod?
Hare Krishna.
Indra
And he
is
is-
what, Prabhu?
Indra, why he should have been so envious and insecure about his position?
Because he's also a marginal potency of Krishna at the end of the
Yeah.
day. Because why are we full of so much envy? Why do we have that anartha? Why do we have it? Because we want to enjoy independent of Krishna. Indra is a demigod. Demigods are not
Yeah.
eternal.
Yeah, I
Okay.
yes, ma'am.
Thank you. But they
Thank
are powerful. And,
Yeah.
I think I did explain their power, because my spiritual master explained that one time. I think I did say that how powerful the demigods are. We can understand a little bit like this, like, if you have this, let's say you're reading an old book. Have you seen the small insects going in the book? Have you seen
Yeah,
small
Yeah.
old
Tends
book?
to happen.
Yes,
Yes.
Mataji.
Book
Yes.
one.
You see, now
Those are
if
book
somebody
ones.
is not a devotee of Krishna, how easy it is for them to just kill that living entity. Yes.
No, Mataji.
Yes.
True,
Really.
true.
So
She
so
loves to
we
eat.
are like those small
Yes,
small
Mataji.
insects for these demigods. So they're very powerful in front of us. Okay, Shubham Patil, Prabhuji, you have a question?
Mataji, King Pruthu's intention was
She
not.
doesn't close the class. She goes on and on and on.
Hare Krishna. Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
King Pruthu's intention was not to capture Indra's chair. So Indra can request to King Pruthu, I want this chair. So these all things will mean ये हो ही नहीं सकता था, मतलब ये होता ही नहीं अगर वो किंग पुत्र को ही बोल देता कि भाई मुझे मेरी चेयर चाहिए आप मतलब इट कैन बी ए म्यूचुअल अंडरस्टैंडिंग राइट ये हॉर्स चोरी
I'm
करने
not
का
understanding
इतना
your
सब
question. Are you saying that that Indra didn't want? And I didn't understand anything actually.
एक्चुअली किंग पृथु का ये इंटेंशन नहीं था कि मुझे इंद्रा की पोजीशन चाहिए
correct.
राइट तो फिर किंग जो देवेंद्र है वो डायरेक्टली किंग पृथु को मतलब उनको बोल सकते थे कि मुझे मेरा पोजीशन नहीं देना है या फिर उनके बीच में कुछ म्यूचुअल अंडरस्टैंडिंग हो सकता था तो इंद्रा को ये सब करने की जरूरत ही नहीं थी राइट कि
But
हॉर्स
Indra
चोरी
is acting out
करना
of envy, right? You have to understand that कि वो activity उसकी envy की जगह से हो रहा है. If he was using his intelligence, he wouldn't. जो आप बोल रहे हो वो बातें हो सकती हैं. But when we act out of a wrong place, our entire thing is wrong. Doesn't matter. The foundation is wrong.
yeah okay Hare Krishna Mataji.
Okay, I think we should close. Shanti Mataji, you have a question?
Mataji, it's a group of people were getting ready for initiation, but by chance somebody got an opportunity to take initiation few months earlier when they visited the holy place. There they got an opportunity to take initiation. But the rest of the group got a misunderstanding that purposely they went and got initiated to become senior than the others. But actually they never had an intention to be like that. But it was by chance it happened, Mataji. But the rest
So what's
of
your
the
question,
group,
Mataji? What's your question? Because you have to draw, there's a problem with the boundary here. What's the question?
this happening, a group of people were getting ready for initiation.
No, I got the story, but what is your doubt? Or are you just telling me this?
No, that is still, that misunderstanding is there like that. After
Mataji,
long,
we have, if you don't draw boundaries in your life, we are going to lead a life of pleasing people rather than pleasing the Paramatma. Okay, everybody have a God-given intelligence. You can try to have a conversation with like a senior devotee moderator in the middle, where the other person is not understanding. Then you have to develop some sort of a detachment, because your journey or that person, whoever you're talking about, journey is not dependent on other people's assumptions and imaginations and assessments of that person's life who got initiated. Clearly, the other people are not ready for initiation. Clearly, it is very clear to me. I'm sorry. Because if somebody is finding fault in another Vaishnava, then clearly that people have work to do. So that I would say, if you want my 2 cents, and you can agree or disagree, that's up to you, that person who got initiated needs to consult their mentors or senior devotees to process their feelings about this.
Shall we
and have
take
to
it as
understand
providential arrangement?
that it is not that person's headache who got initiated to go on explaining themselves to anybody. Not.
yeah, we are doing
Okay.
that.
It was a providential arrangement, Mataji.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. It's a providential arrangement or because situation alag hai. It doesn't matter. It is, whatever it is. The direct hand of Krishna, or it is through Krishna's agent, or it is Maya. It doesn't matter. I have faced this situation millions of times. I can give you so many examples, and I'm coming from the platform of experience. You have to draw a boundary. You have to take care of yourself. Atmavat manyate jagat. Whoever is like that, they see other people like that. There's no need to explain. I don't see it.
We accept many things in life as adverse things in life as a provisional arrangement, and we accept them. And go ahead.
Yes. Correct. That's correct. I think her question is that I don't know what the question is, but I think what I can sense is that there is a miscommunication, or the person who took initiation before other people is now trying to explain their position to other people that no, it was not like that. But I would say it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're doing
Thank you,
it for
Mataji.
your own.
Thank you. That's what my question. Thank you.
It doesn't matter. If tomorrow Vasudevan Prabhu will become of course he is now also. I'm sorry, Prabhu, I'm taking your example because I'm a little close to you. Please forgive me. But tomorrow, if he starts taking these classes, okay, which I'm taking right now, or Aishwarya Subhadra is taking, or Pran Chaitanya Prabhu is taking, right, or somebody else takes, and then what should I do? I should say, oh, how can they take these classes when it was given to me? Well, the message has to be given from the right place. Just chill. Just chill. That's 2 cents. Okay, thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Krishna Mataji.
Jai.
Hare Krishna
Mataji. Dandavat pranam. Hare Krishna.
Temple, thank you so much. Hare Krishna.